Everyone struggles with money. Well, most of us do anyway. But what is it that successful people, mainly Jews, do to get out of the rat race? Why do Jews tend to outperform the general population in every situation in which they have existed throughout history? And what are the secret money codes that Jews follow to attain financial freedom? Let's find out in today's video. Origins of the Jews and money stereotype. The idea that Jews are naturally good with money is one of the oldest Jewish stereotypes, and it still affects how people think of Jews today. To say that Jews have a stranglehold on the global economy or banking system is ludicrous. But it's also true that Jews have historically been overrepresented in the world's top financial and corporate institutions. People often say that this is because for hundreds of years, Jews were not allowed to join professional guilds or own lands, so they had to work as merchants and financiers. But what do we know about the origins of Jews and money stereotypes? Jews have been linked to money lending for at least 1,000 years. The most common reason for this is that Jews in Europe were not allowed to join guilds or own lands during the Middle Ages. They were also forced to live in ghettos. Also, Christian theology in the Middle Ages said that charging interest, called usury, was wrong, which stopped many Christians from becoming bankers. Because of this, Jews took over the field. Howard Sachar, a historian, has said that in the 18th century, maybe as many as 3/4 of the Jews in Central and Western Europe were limited to the precarious jobs of retail peddling, hawking, and street banking, which is another name for lending money on the street. Christians didn't like these jobs because they went against their religious beliefs. This made people think that Jews were morally weak and willing to do business in ways that good people wouldn't. A different theory says that Jews' love of money isn't because they can't work for other fields, but because they put a lot of value on learning and literacy. Evolution of a stereotype. From the fact that Jews were overrepresented in jobs that most Christians thought were bad, a stereotype grew that Jews were commercially greedy, took advantage of the poor, and caused economic pain and misery for the masses. The Merchant of Venice may have done more than anything else to cement this idea in the minds of Europeans. Jews did have important jobs in Europe's economy, which made them easy to blame when things went wrong. So-called court Jews provided most of the money for projects of the European aristocracy for hundreds of years. Meyer Amschel Rothschild, who was a court Jew, started a banking business in Germany in the 1760s. This business grew into a huge international conglomerate and gave his family one of the largest fortunes in the world. The name Rothschild became a shorthand way to talk about how secretive and powerful Jews were thought to be in the world's economy. Even though Karl Marx had Jewish ancestry, his parents converted the family to Protestantism when he was a child, he was the first person to say that capitalism is inherently exploitive. He also said that Jews were especially responsible for promoting capitalism. As lending money turned into banks, Jews continued to hold important jobs in the financial world. During the 18th and 19th century, Jews built a number of important banks across Europe, which fed into anti-Jewish conspiracy theories. Now, let's take a look at 7 Jewish money codes. Money code number 1, wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to know what's true, right, or long-lasting based on your own experiences. It's putting what you know to use in the real world. In Jewish history, King Solomon is one of the most important people. The Tanakh, or Old Testament, says that Solomon built the first temple in Jerusalem. He was one of the smartest and richest persons of his time because he valued wisdom above all else. God said, "I will give you a wise and understanding heart so that no one has ever been like you and no one will ever be like you again. I'm also giving you something you didn't ask for, wealth and honor greater than any other king you'll ever meet." This is because great wealth and success come with great wisdom. Ultimately, you should seek wisdom instead of wealth. Don't wear yourself out trying to get rich. Be smart enough to stop. If you look at it quickly, it's no longer there, for wealth will surely grow wings and fly off into the sky like an eagle. First comes pride, then disgrace. But with the humble comes wisdom. Says the Bible, "He who won't learn will be poor and ashamed, but he who listens to correction will be honored." To become wise, you have to study. Make your books your friends, says Jewish philosopher Samuel Ibn Tibbon. American sales expert Zig Ziglar said, "Rich people have small TVs and big libraries. and poor people have big TVs and small libraries. The Talmud is one of the most wise books you can read. It's also become a guide to making money and running a business. The Talmud says, if you study a lot at once, you won't learn much. But if you study a little at a time, you'll learn a lot. The book then talks about time, saying that many Jews know that time is more important than money because you can always get more money, but you can never get it back. Time is the most valuable thing. So most Jews spend their time learning, making money, and helping others. Money code number 2, traditions, mindset. In the Tanakh, the first Jews are shown to be very wealthy, which is seen as a clear sign of God's favor. Jewish families have always encouraged their children to save money, get high-paying jobs, and invest. Rich families are important to Jews. Jews see wealth and success as gifts from God. This is different from many other cultures and religions which tend to focus more on the afterlife and less on this world. The Tanakh says, everyone to whom God has given wealth and the ability to enjoy it, so that he takes his share and enjoys his work. This is a gift from God. The Lord makes some people poor and some people rich. He brings some people down and lifts others up, says the Tanakh. In Christianity, some people think that being poor is good and desirable, but Jews have generally had a negative view of poverty. Jewish texts have shown that being poor is an unfair burden and a pointless way to suffer. Jewish people think that being rich is a blessing and that being poor is bad because it can't help anyone. Money code number 3, work. The Talmud talks about how a person can get rich. Let him do a lot of business and do it honestly, the Tanakh says. Those who work hard will rule, and those who don't will be forced to work. Julius Streicher, a German politician, said, it's a well-known fact that Jews don't work. Instead, they pay other people to do the work for them. Jews think that people make things, not just buy things. Work needs goals and plans so that you can work hard to reach them. The Tanakh says, sow your seeds in the morning and don't stop until evening, because you don't know which planting will do well. Money code number 4, investing. The Talmud teaches that one's money should always be ready to hand, which means that we should always have money ready to invest. Stats say that 33% of Jews invest in financial assets, while only 7% of mainland Protestants, 4% of Catholics, and 0% of conservative Protestants do the same. The banker Edmund Safra said, if you don't sow, how will you harvest? The book says that on the path to wealth, a person may have to stop spending for a while to save as much money as he can. The Tanakh says, those who love pleasures become poor. Those who love wine and luxury will never be rich. The book encourages people to work hard, save money, and build up a nest egg that they can invest in financial assets and get the return they want to support their lifestyle or future needs. Concerned about the consumerist culture of today? Jews follow the Tanakh, which says, the wise have wealth and comfort, but fools spend everything they get. Time is money, but money is also time. For every luxury costs so many precious hours of life. The Book of Law says, so wait to buy everything you want until you can really pay for it. When you borrow money without being smart about it, you become a slave. The Tanakh says, he who doesn't think things through believes everything, but he who is wise plans well for his journey. Because of this, you should never rush into an investment without first researching and thinking about it. On the other hand, don't stop investing in good opportunities. He who keeps looking at the wind will never sow, and he who keeps looking at the clouds will never reap. Diversify your investments because you don't know what risks are coming. This is a great way to spread out your money. Money code number 5, the law. Natural law, also called the law of nature, is a set of rules made by God. Law stands for order. As the iron law of human destiny says, what goes around comes around. This is also known as the law of action and reaction. God told Noah 7 rules that apply to everyone. Non-Jews must follow these rules if they want to be blessed. On this subject, we have to go back to the idea of poverty. People who are poor aren't expected to do much because they don't know the Noahide laws. What can we expect from the poor? Asked the Tanakh. They don't know. They don't know how God works. They don't know what God's rules are. He who won't learn will be poor and ashamed, but he who listens to corrections will be honored. Even people who are not Jewish or religious will benefit from following these rules. Several of the laws tell people not to be dishonest or greedy. Wealth that was gained dishonestly will be lost, but wealth that was gained slowly will grow, the Tanakh says. Greedy people try to get rich quickly, but they don't realize they're headed for poverty. Money code number 6, tithe. 1/10 is called a tithe. Religious Jews give the poor 10% of their income. This is an old Jewish way to get rich. Abraham gave away 10% of all he had. Tithe so that you will get rich, says the Talmud. Tithing is a requirement for wealth in and of itself. It's kind of like working with God to keep the world going. Neither poverty nor wealth is a result of skill, but everything depends on merit. Try to get more good things going for you. The more good things you do, the more divine energy you will attract, which will make you more successful. Money code number 7, charity. The Talmud says, even a poor person who lives on charity should give charity. If he does that, heaven will never make him poor again. Anything given on top of the tithe is called an offering. The author says again that the law of cause and effect says you have to give before you can get. The Tanakh says, he who gives to the poor will have nothing lacking, but he who hides his eyes will have plenty of curses. Earn as much as you can, save as much as you can, invest as much as you can, and give as much as you can, says Anglican Methodist minister John Wesley. The author uses this quote to sum up the book. So, why do you think Jews are good with wealth? Share with us in the comments below. Also, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a like and share it with your friends so we can keep making more videos like this. For more content like this, subscribe to our channel. Also, be sure to check out other videos as well. Thanks for watching.